Hi, my name is Chris Mueller, and I'm going to be answering a question for Jake here today about whether fish oil supplementation is good for basically exercise performance, in addition to the well-known heart health and all that stuff that people are talking about. So I'm going to start with basically as a strength coach, I find that adequate sleep and a healthy diet is good enough for about 90% of the population, and there's not really a great need to supplement outside of that normal diet. However, there has been plenty of research out there to prove that fish oils, they have a strong antioxidant property to them, and they can actually aid in the recovery process and reduce inflammation and all these other things. What I could do is I could tell you exactly what you should do and how much to take, and hopefully it'll work, and I'll kind of just feed that fire. But there was actually an article by Anna Hansen in 2012, and they state that direct persuasive behavior modifications that us as experts typically give clients, it's just not really stuck to as well as we think it is. So if I tell you to go eat 500 calories less every single day and you'll lose some weight, most people don't do that. And that kind of goes against what we normally think, because it's like, oh, an expert told me to do it, I need to do it, and it gets done. But that's just not the case. So what I will suggest is that we kind of discuss in a format where you give your input, I give you some suggestions and some evidence, and then you kind of make your best opinion based on what I tell you. So what we'll do is I'll tell you some things, and you can try it or not try it depending on what we kind of come up with today. And then if it works, great. If not, you can come back and we kind of revisit the topic, and we'll just continue on that path until you kind of find the solution that you're looking for. So Cynthia Sass and her colleagues in 2007 actually suggest that I tell you I'm not a registered dietitian, I'm not a doctor, and you should consult with one or both of those before you decide to make any changes to your diet or activity levels, because you may actually be on medication right now that I don't know of, that you didn't remember, or something like that. And taking fish oils may actually interfere with those, and we don't want that to happen. So we don't want any negative stuff to happen, we only want positive stuff to happen. This doesn't mean that you can't take it and that it's not safe for you. I'm just kind of telling you that you should visit with somebody that's a specialist and somebody who is certified and licensed to kind of give you direction on that. I'm just going to kind of give you some ammo to basically figure this out for yourself, and you can tell them what you know to kind of gauge if this is going to work out for you. So as far as the topic of fish oils, they're also known as omega-3s. You may or not know that fish oils are actually fats, and this actual particular type of fat is a good fat. There was these two guys, Bruce Holub and Michael Kahn, in 2007. They actually state that fat is interchanged with the word triglycerides, and triglycerides actually affect your cholesterol, in the sense that there's a high density and a low density cholesterol. So you may or may not know high or low density, if this is good or bad. So basically the high density stuff, just think of it as like rocks. It's very high dense, it's big stuff, and it kind of bumps around, goes through the body, doesn't do a whole lot of damage, and we take from it what we need, and it just kind of passes through us. Now, the low density stuff is the bad stuff. That's the stuff that kind of sticks to the sides, and it gets all gummy and kind of slows things down. Sometimes it blocks the high density stuff, and that's when you have problems with like stroke and heart attacks and things like that. So we don't want that. The reason that this stuff is so important is because fish oils actually have been found to remove the circulating triglycerides by up to 20% when you supplement only 3 to 4 grams a day. And that was found by Bruce Holub and Michael Kahn in 2007. Now, additionally, a Japanese study by Watanabe and his colleagues in 2009, they found that fish oils, they reduce the diastolic blood pressure when they actually took a placebo using only olive oil with about 5% of fish oils to give it that fishy taste. So people thought they were taking fish oils, and it didn't really mess up the study. But the actual placebo with the olive oils, it did not do anything towards the diastolic blood pressure, whereas the fish oils, it did reduce the blood pressure. So that's kind of a good thing. Now, as far as the performance benefits, that's kind of another story that we're going to look into. And Tina Pertinelli and Jeff Combs in 2011, they actually conducted a review. And basically a review is they look at a whole bunch of different studies and they say, okay, this is what every single study found, and this is the truth, basically. So in a nutshell, these reviews are good things, and we want to find as many reviews as possible because it basically does the homework for us. We don't have to read single studies and be like, oh, this is good, and then there's another study that kind of negates that study that just proved a point. It goes through and it says, all right, these all studies, this is good, this is bad. For the most part, they're all bad or they're all good, and they make a kind of an assumption based on all the stuff out there. So Pertinelli and Combs in this review, they basically found that there is absolutely no performance benefit in fish oil supplementation. It doesn't do anything to benefit performance. There were some studies that said that the benefit was for VO2 max improvement and things like that, as far as, okay, if I do a long distance race, is it going to help me reduce inflammation and help my muscles and all that stuff? And it's not the case. They found that it does not do that. So now there are some cases that Pertinelli and Combs describe as there's these athletes that are not consuming enough fruits and vegetables, they're not getting enough whole grains and nuts. So a qualified sports dietitian is the only one that can suggest any individualized program that basically would incorporate a fish oil instead of a regular diet. And these are all found to be short-term solutions. They're not long-term solutions. They're not something that you need to be doing on a regular basis. So basically from that review of all these studies that says there's no performance benefit, and the studies that we did find that says it's good for heart health and it's good for lowering your diastolic blood pressure and all those things, in small amounts it looks as if, yes, okay, it's good for everyday health in small amounts. But at the same token, the performance side of it, it doesn't exist. There is no performance benefits. You don't have to worry about that. So basically, in short, there's no need to waste your money on fish oil supplements for performance. The proof is in the evidence. Pertinelli and Combs back in 2011 said it best. They said that the performance benefit should come from a well-balanced nutrition diet that includes fresh fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and nuts. It kind of sounds familiar, I know. I said that in the beginning. So does that kind of give you something to think about? And hopefully that's good for you. If you have any more questions, just let me know. But for the most part, that's pretty much it. Thank you.